Hi guys, today I'm going to be filming my eyeshadow palette collection. I don't have a huge amount of palettes, but I do like to watch these videos, so I thought I would film my own one, as eyeshadow palettes are one of my biggest collection points. So I'm just going to start with this palette that's already here. It's the I Heart Revolution Unicorns Heart palette. I got this for Christmas from my sister and I've used it a few times. It's very nice, and the pigments on this one are pretty good. I really like this silver shade here. That's probably my favourite out of this palette, but yeah, it's just this one. And then I have the I Heart Revolution Angel Heart palette. I got this off of Amazon and it came like all stained on the packaging, but the actual palette was brand new, so it's okay. This was $6.99 and it's just this one here. I actually preferred the Unicorn's Heart one, but the colours on this are still pretty nice for like neutral everyday sort of looks. I then have the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. I got this from ASOS when it was still full price, but yeah, this is just I've used this a few times. I don't use it a lot because it's one of my most expensive palettes, so I kind of just use this for sort of special occasions and stuff. But it is a very nice palette, and I do like the shimmers in here. They are very nice. I then have the Revolution Forever Flawless Ice palette. This is one of my favourite palettes. I can't remember where I actually got this one from. I can't remember if it was ASOS or Superdrug, but yeah, it's just this one. It's a very blue and gold palette. It's very, very nice. I do like to use this one quite often. As you can see, this blue shade is sort of my favourite one out of this palette. And then I have the Revolution Forever Flawless Birds of Paradise palette. This is also one of my favourite palettes, if I can get it open. And this one's just a very, very colourful eyeshadow palette. Colourful eyeshadows are sort of my go-to. I don't really wear neutrals too often, just sometimes. And then again, as you can see, this pink and this gold have been my favourite out of this one, but I also really like this orange shade. I use that when I'm doing like an orange and green look. But it's a very, very nice palette. I don't like these two though, because I don't like pressed glitters, so they'll never be touched, but I'm not entirely sure how you depop colours yet. So yeah, it's just that one. And then I have the Revolution Forever Flawless Flamboyance palette. This palette has barely been used. It's not really one of my go-to palettes, but it is very, very nice. I kind of want to get some more use out of it because this blue is very, very nice. I'll swatch it for you. Just look at this here. It's a very, very nice blue shade. So I kind of want to try and get some more use out of this palette as this colour. I've used the shade Flame a few times when I wanted like a red sort of shimmery colour, but it does come out on the eye sort of more orange, but it is a very, very nice palette overall. I then have the Revolution Forever Flawless Unconditional Love palette. This was actually a present. The mirror actually cracked on it. I accidentally stepped on it. But yeah, these is just more of a purpley pink. I only really still have this palette for the shade First Date, well, the shimmer First Date, because I really, really like that on the eye. And I have used this purple shade Love Potion quite a lot. Purple seems to be sort of my go-to transition colour for eyeshadows, but it is a very, very nice palette. I then have the I Heart Revolution Coffee palette. These palettes are okay, but they are very, very powdery and they don't go on the eye too well. You really have to build them up. But this is just it here. This one has, again, barely been used, but I do like the shade Iced over here. So I kind of want to try and use it more for this. I'll just swatch it because it's sort of like a purpley silver colour. It's very, very nice. And the shimmers are very pigmented, but the mattes are just sort of, you really, really have to build them up. But it's just this palette here. And then I have the I Heart Revolution Pizza palette. Same again, the shades aren't that great, but it's still usable. This Neapolitan colour is very, very nice. I like silvers for shimmers every now and again. So yeah, it's just this palette here. And then I have the I Heart Revolution, the Revolution Forever Flawless Fire palette. This is one of my favourite palettes just now. It's actually my project pan for this year. And I did actually hit pan the other day on the shade Volcanic. This has been like my go-to shade because it's purple. But I really like the golds in here too, and this Inferno shade, I'm really close to hitting pan on that too. I think if I use that a few more times I'll hit pan on that, so I'm quite excited that I've hit pan in this palette in January when I've put it in my pan challenge for the whole year, so that was quite nice. And then I have the Revolution Forever Flawless Chilled palette. This was actually the very first eyeshadow palette I bought when I first started getting back into makeup. I really do like this palette too. This is also in my pan challenge for 2021, but I'll post a separate video on my pan challenges for this year. But again, it's more golds. It's a shame this silver is a pressed glitter because it's really nice, but I don't like pressed glitters on the eyes, and I don't want to have to go through the hassle of buying like glitter glues and everything like that. So yeah, it's just this one. And then I have the Revolution Forever Flawless Decadent palette. This palette is just an all neutral palette, so it hasn't had too much love out of it. I have used it a few times and it is very nice. This plush colour here is also really nice. It's sort of creamy, where the other ones can be sort of quite dry, but it is still a very nice palette. I probably should start using it some more. So yeah, that's just that one. Then I have the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. I used this the other day for the first time and I quite enjoyed it actually. It seems to be better quality than the other ones. This smoothie shade up here is a great shade for shimmers, but it is a very nice palette overall. It is mostly greens, but I do like to do green eyeshadow looks quite often, so this will probably get some good love out of it this year. Then I have the Revolution Forever Flawless Enchanted palette. This was actually the Halloween, one of the Halloween palettes for 2020. This hasn't been used very often because the colours are very dark, but this Enchanted shade is very nice, and I do like the frost colour if I fancy doing a white shimmer on my eye that day. But this again hasn't been used too much. But this blue down here is also really nice. I'd say it's similar to this one, maybe just a little bit darker. Oh no, it's sort of like a duochrome colour. It looks blue in the pan, but when you put it on your hand it's sort of like a blacky blue. It's still very nice though. I have used it a few times and it is a nice palette, so hopefully I'll get more use out of this around about Halloween time. And then I have the Friends X Revolution palette. I can't remember what this one's called. But yeah, it's just this one. This was the very first one that came out when they did their first Friends X Revolution series. This has never been used, never been swatched. I only got this around about a week ago, but it does look like it has some nice shades in it, and I do kind of want to try it out at some point, but I'm sort of more focused on my pan palettes at the moment. But it is a very nice palette, and I love Friends, so I'm really glad I found it, because I think they're going to be getting discontinued or something soon because they've like been on sale pretty much everywhere. So I literally had to hunt for weeks to find this, and I'm really glad I found it. And then I have the Friends X Revolution Taxi palette. Again, I don't know I can't remember the original name for it, but yeah, it's just this one. This still has the protective seal on it. This one again hasn't been used. This is an all neutral palette too, apart from this blue shade down here. Again, I do want to try this out at some point too, but with it being neutrals, I don't know how often I'll actually use this palette, because neutrals are sort of the last sort of colours I go for, but it is very nice. And again, this one was on sale too. This one was relatively easy to find though. I got this on ASOS. I think it was for something like £13.50 and they were usually £20. And then I have the Friends X Revolution He's Her Lobster palette, or She's Her Lobster palette. I can't remember which one is the correct term for it. But again, this one still has its protective film on it. It's also never been used. This one was also on sale. I got this one for around about £12.50, so I can't swatch any of the shades, but this Ski Trip Gold looks beautiful. I can't wait to try that out. And Bologna also looks like a nice pink shimmery shade. You can't see it too well with it having the protective seal over it, but I might do looks on these palettes when I do eventually get around to using them. And I do really like the packaging for this one, like just with the pink and the lobster. It is very nice. This one was also from ASOS. I then have the Friends Open the Door palette. I have used this one once. I did do a look with it a few weeks ago on my Instagram because I really wanted to try out this Big White Dog shade. It's very, very nice. I haven't tried any of the other shimmers in here yet. I have tried the shade Java, and I think I tried Frank Jr. as well, but this is a very nice palette. It is very bulky though, it takes up a lot of space in my drawer, but again, I love Friends, so I wanted to try and get the whole collection. I'm now moving on to try and get the whole lip gloss collection before they disappear, but this is a very nice palette. The shades built up very easily, very, very pigmented. It's a very nice palette. And then the last palette that I have is the James Charles X Morphe mini palette. Now, when I first got this palette, I was still sort of new to getting back into makeup, and I thought this was like the best thing since sliced bread. I thought the formula was fantastic, but the more I've used it and the more I've used other palettes, it's okay, but I don't think it's all it's sort of hyped up to be. You do have to sort of build the colours up a little bit. Now, I have used this a fair amount of times. I've done a fair few rainbow looks and stuff with this palette. This is also in my Pan That Palette challenge for 2021 because I kind of just want to get use out of it, pan the colours that I want to pan, and then sort of just declutter it, because I don't think I'll continue to buy more Morphe stuff when I know there's better brands out there. But you know, they might come out with a palette that I really, really want to get. And when I first bought this, I was really into James Charles, but I'm kind of more into other beauty YouTubers now. But overall, it is a nice palette. I am glad it's the mini one though, because I think it would have took me forever to go through the big one, and I have seen how big it is in YouTube videos. But I'm glad I have it. So yeah, that's all the eyeshadows I have for the moment. I do plan on adding some more to my collection sometime soon. I kind of have a little bit of an addiction to buying eyeshadow palettes. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!